Okay, so this is Travel Scrapbook 39, Alexandria and Mount Vernon in Virginia. We took a road trip there a couple of years ago, and anyway, we loved it, and I'm having fun scrap. So this page is the front page. I love Alexandria. I found these wonderful houses, which look a lot like the photos in the city, so I just thought they were perfect for this page. This tree is from Miss Kate Cuttables. There are 30 of her cartridges in Cricut Design Space, so I'm quite fond of them because they're very detailed. To me, the more layers the better, and the more detail the better. It just makes it more interesting and fun for me. So that's the opening page. Now this is the second page. I haven't used any Cricut on this because the paper was just kind of perfect, and the coordinates I just made borders for. So it's a very simple page. This is the King Street trolley. It was a free service that was outside our hotel, so we took it a lot. We went into town every day and did museum tours. So I love this travel paper. It's very graphic, so I use it whenever I can for travel pages. I just put a map in there. I'm not sure what the map is of, but anyway. The next one is the Masonic Temple. This was right near our hotel. You had to climb up quite a hill to get to it, and a lot of stairs. There's a lookout tower at the top, but to go with the Masonic theme, I did some geometric shapes, a few borders, and it was tricky cutting that across both pages, but anyway, that's pretty. This is the interior of that Washington Memorial Masonic Temple. I'm thinking this goes like this because his face is pointing inwards here. So I just picked two coordinating patterns, put some borders and some Washington symbols on the page, and that's that page. This is inside there as well. I used a panoramic photo because this was such a long painting along the wall inside that we just took a long panoramic view of it. Those stained glass windows were on the other side of the building. So I like that. I love panoramic photos. It's a change from scrapbooking 4x6s and 5x7s all the time. Okay, since we went into Alexandria several days, each day we would do lunch or dinner there. And so this was one of our lunches. I never know what to do with food pages, so dining out and that, because we like to do that a lot. So I found this paper. It's all about food, and I tend to use it a lot with dining pages. So I made this frame with a circle punch. Just cut it to the right size and stuck my photos on it. This was one of the museums that we went to. There were several. This is the Black History Museum in Alexandria. I just did a border, a doll, because of this doll here. I pull from my photos to make my pages, and I try and pick my color schemes from them, and the images that I think would go best with those pages. So that's that one. Next is the Lee Fendel House. This was another guided tour. It is now a museum. And so I did a crest looking frame to put the crest in. I found another crest and just put the word Lee into it. I repeated the frame on both sides. And this house is actually a combination of two houses because the house itself was wider, so I did this house and then attached that one to it. So it looks more like the real thing. So this is the Fire Hall Museum. It was quite something. Really old machinery there. This is, I imagine that's made of leather. Friendship Fire Hall Museum. So I used a hose and a fireman's hat and just a block of some bold print paper. Quite a simple page. This is some ephemera I added. All right. This page is further inside the museum. There's the different fire carts that they would use, pulled by horses. And I love my flames up this side. I raised some of them on foam here and there. I used Kiwi Lane templates on this page to make a wavy border all along the top. And I just ran a border down here to fill these frames. I know this is from Cindy Lou cartridge on Cricut. So that's that one. Another lunch. This is at a different tavern. Oh no, this was a museum too. Gatsby Tavern. This was a museum. They showed the tables all set up and that. So I tried to make it a tavern scene with a barmaid, some table and stools, and a beer stein. I added a beer stein here and a little banner across there. So, now we had to go to this museum because my nephew is a pharmacist. And this was a historical pharmacy. It was beautiful. It looked more like a jewelry store inside. It was all white with gold and gold labels on things. So I used gold foil paper and white. And there's the museum catalog or handout that they gave us. And the sign, I found some medical images in Cricut to put on this page. If you want to know what the papers are or the images are, you can go to my website and you can go to the Travel Book 39 and find where, just scroll through that, click on that album, scroll through and you'll find the page and it will tell you what I've used to make each page and what Cricut cartridges the images are from. This is the inside of a church where George Washington would go when he was in town for government. I guess he would stay sometimes in Alexandria at the inns and that there. And so this church is in memory of him. It was quite beautiful inside. So found some Washington images for that. I used Kiwi Lane on that as well. And another lunch. some more paper from that food pad. And I just put a random frame at an angle to fill in space there and cut an oval photo to overlap the two of these. Framed that one with the same frame is here. I repeated it over there. This restaurant had some unusual art in it. So. Now on to Mount Vernon. So this is what you see when you arrive at Mount Vernon. This is the front and this is the rear. So I did Kiwi Lane here. What I did was I found a multicolored print with the colors of the roof is kind of salmon color and the building is cream. So and the grass is green. So I found a print with those three colors, and then I found a small print to coordinate, and a medium-sized print to coordinate, and then a different one for the frame. I added a border that I had purchased and lifted it up. I then repeated the same papers on this side to do I added the weather vane because of the weather vane on that photo. I try to get my inspiration from the photos. So now we're moving to inside Mount Vernon. So this is the dining rooms. This is a less formal dining room on this page. I added just I had this gold leaf chandelier and candelabra and borders, so I just stuck them here and there. This room was very ornate. This is their main formal dining room here. So I just framed the photos with the same frame, and I did a circle. I cut it in half and tucked some behind. I used a border punch here and added just a piece of paper here, a different coordinating pattern. So this paper itself had all this stuff on it already, so I didn't need to do much. I repeated the doily here from here. This paper, okay, here's the blacksmith shop or building. There were all kinds of outbuildings there. So this paper I cut in half and put a coordinating paper in between full size. So I just added some blacksmith images, some horseshoes, wagon wheel, lamp, that sort of thing, and I left some nice paper showing around this to create a frame without cutting one on the Cricut machine. And so I like it. Maybe it was the colors. This page is more inside buildings. There's a sitting room or a parlor and a bedroom. I love Reminisce. It was a Creative Memories cartridge, and I just love the frames and the borders in that cartridge. They're very formal and traditional, and I like them for weddings especially, or any formal type thing. So here's a circle I cut in half, and I used the other half over here, tucked behind this photo. Just ran a strip of paper across here and another one up there. Added the title right on top of the photo frame. Timeless. Okay, now there were outside gardens at Mount Vernon, and they were beautiful formal gardens here, and then there were vegetable gardens in that as well. So I found images. This was a new cartridge in Design Space when I did this, so I was glad to try out, have fun with some new images. I quite like these images. So these colors, the color of this paper was picked from the colors in the garden. Also the brick was very orange, so that's what influenced that. Now this is the spinning house and the storage house. So I found paper with doilies all over it, just put down a title and used a lacy border for this. Very, very simple page. And this is the storage house with loads of barrels, so I just piled the stack of barrels with a title. So that was that. 2 simple pages. Some more outbuildings. This was the cobbler's place. I believe these people lived in the building where they worked as well. So this was the cobbler's place. So I found all kinds of different shoes and just walked them around the page and put cobbler as a title, and then coordinated. This was a giant fireplace, and this was the stove room, it was called, and this is the fireplace that heated the greenhouses where they would grow their food. So that's why I added florals and pots and things, because it was for the greenhouse. Love this paper. And these horse and buggy. This was Washington's, like his garage. And in it was parked his buggies and vehicles. So I did horse and buggies going each way. I added an image of Washington, and this was another carriage that was in the same garage. Added a little road trip, borders to fill the space. That's it. It was, I like the contrast of the red popping, which I pulled from this, the red and the gold. That was my color scheme with the black. And this is the last page of that album. This is the gift shop. That is, when we're finished, there's always a gift shop everywhere. So I added just a title. I put a border, a couple of sheets of old-fashioned paper, toile, I guess it is, and then some gifty items like a vase, a teapot, a toy, that sort of thing. So that's it for this album. I hope you enjoyed it. Visit me and my Cricut to get more detail on these.